Okay, so now we got through that, and now we're going to get to the really cool part. And I appreciate you sticking with me this far because you may know, if you follow screenplays or you've read this one already, that one of the really unusual things is the use of images and imagery in the screenplay. And there's tons of it in here. And it's something that you do not normally see. Let's look at page 26. Boom, right there, blueberry candle taking up 3/8 of the page. And if I remember correctly from watching the film, that looks exactly like the candle in the film. That's probably taken from some site where you buy the candle and then they actually went and bought the candle, because I think it looks like the exact one. But isn't that interesting to see an image that big and that bold right there in the middle of the screenplay? That use of space on the page. It doesn't end there. Look at page 51 and the Monopoly sets. And this is when Mr. Reed is talking about iterations of religion and how the Monopoly is a great example of one Monopoly is an iteration of the previous one. And look, right there, they've got not only the Monopoly boards, but also the religious imagery next to them to show. And the Landlord's Game, the first Monopoly, is really interesting to me. Side note, which has nothing to do with anything other than to say the lady who made that game is from this small town that I live in right now. And this town is actually on that board. Isn't that cool? And the story goes that I believe it was a heater salesman from Chicago came down to where we live, loved the game, took it back up to Chicago, and then changed up a few things, iterations, and sold it to Parker Brothers. So that's in the screenplay as well. And so that must be true. Look at page 58, and we get to see some religious imagery there. This is... like this is like nothing to nothing, but it's in there. And it shows you, what this stuff looks like. Pretty cool. Look at 106. We have hand drawings, and you can tell this isn't a font. This is, or at least I don't think so. This is an actual, someone drew this on a pad or something, made it into a JPEG, and then stuck it in the screenplay. These aren't the only examples. There are tons of examples in this screenplay of pictures and images. And that was why I chose this as the first screenplay to go through here on the Screenplay Lab, because this is what we want to do. We want to dig deep, see what's interesting, see what's unique, see what we can learn from it. Does that mean that you should all go and still images and put them in your screenplay? Probably not. But if you want to, do it. Yeah, do what you want. Doesn't matter. There are no rules. There are some things to consider, though, before you make a choice like that. For example, and there's a huge debate going on right now about formatting and elements to a screenplay. And my position is this, if you want to know what I think. If you write a really good screenplay and you include stuff like this, images, pictures, you make bold, unique choices, no one's going to care because you wrote a good screenplay. If you write an average screenplay, or God forbid, a bad screenplay, and you put this sort of thing in there, people are going to laugh at you. But they're going to say, this guy's a clown, doesn't know what he's doing. So what does that tell you? I believe it really just comes down to the story. If it's a good story, this may make it eye-catching and more interesting. If it's a bad story, then nobody cares anyway.